Okay. So, taiyar hai aap? Are you ready, Karena? Can we start?
Yes, I'm ready, and thank you so much, because the book is even more special because it has you who are, launching it with me today, which I think is, when Shiki asked me who I wanted and what would I said, I actually want to just launch this book with Karan because he's a brother, and I think it would be perfect. He's like my family, and having his voice behind my book, it would make my day.
Well, I am really excited, honored, and full of love right now, and I can't believe that you've been brave enough to actually write this pregnancy Bible. So I really want to address that right at the top with you, Karena, is because it takes a lot. It takes a lot for anyone, and even a woman, to kind of tell a tell-all book on pregnancy. So what was that one aspect, or rather that one moment that motivated you to actually go ahead and give the green signal to this book?
I think when Chiki called me, in fact, it took me 15 minutes to actually just tell her that, I want to do it, and I'm going to do it. And I said that, the only way I'm going to do this is if I'm allowed to be honest. And she was like, I'm actually shocked that, you being a celebrity, would you actually be honest enough to talk about certain things? I said, if the book is going to allow me to do that, I want to do it, because there's no other way. I don't know any other way but to just, you know how I am. I speak from my heart, and that's exactly what I've done through Tim and Jay's pregnancies. I think it's just like, I've said, we've spoken and touched about topics that probably, a lot of mothers and expecting mothers won't want to address, Karan.
Karena, I'm sorry to disturb you. Everyone's saying there's an echo coming from your end. Is there a device right next to you that there's an echo coming from your end?
Is there an echo somehow?
All the comments are saying
now,
there's an echo.
Check.
Karena, a lot of echo. All the comments are saying a lot of echo. Your voice is not...
My voice is echoing. And because... should I wear my AirPods?
Is Karena the problem with your voice? Mine is coming to everybody.
There's a problem with my voice. Let's try AirPods.
Try your AirPods.
Yeah, just try. Let's switch on the AirPods. Is it better?
Is it better now? Are you hearing Karena more clear without the echo?
I think this is better. I
Karan
can hear
is
you
fine.
clearer now.
Somebody saying loud. Okay. Is everyone finding Karena audible, guys? Just wanted your feedback.
I think somebody saying voice आ रही है दोनों की proper.
Voice आ रही है, पढ़ लिया आपने ये?
हाँ, मैंने पढ़ लिया क्या आ रही है.
Karan, voice and connection is proper. Hi, gorgeous from Trinidad. Okay, I don't know. I think she probably meant you. Yes, Pompey is saying it's okay now. Pompey is saying it's okay.
Pompey has told us
all right.
To go ahead.
To context, what Karena really said, that she would only want to write this book if she was actually allowed to be completely bone honest, which, from what I've read, Karena, you have been.
Yes.
It takes a lot of guts and a lot of gumption to actually write a tell-all book. And I'm actually glad that you did, because it's immensely informative and very motivating to so many millions of women who are going to read it. Now,
absolutely.
I'm going to actually jump right into it, Bebo, because I think it's important that we get to the crux of the matter. When there is firstly, you've had two bona fide, beautiful children. And what I admired the most about you, especially when it came to your second child, are we allowed to mention his name out in the public domain now? Can we say that you call him what you call him?
Yeah, Jay Ali Khan.
Okay, Jay Ali Khan. So when Jay was born, the one moment that I really felt very proud of you is that you worked right through your second trimester. right through. You shot Lal Singh Chadda in the peak of your pregnancy. In your 8th month.
Yeah, I did a romantic song with Amir Khan, like 5.5 months pregnant.
8 months into your pregnancy, maybe even beyond that, you were on sets, you were doing endorsements, you were finishing your film projects, you were doing everything. And I think that's one thing that you broke a myth, because everyone is so paranoid during, a pregnancy at home. Couples that are pregnant are always paranoid. Ye mat karo, wo mat karo, so many do's and don'ts. You kind of broke the shackles of all those myths. What gave you the confidence to do that? Was it your family or was it you yourself?
I think, of course, it was me wanting to actually just, be happy and work. And when I'm working, when I'm out and about, when I'm doing things that I love, I think I'm the happiest. And of course, a lot of support from Saif. I think what is most important when you're pregnant and of course you're going to become a mother, I think what a pregnant woman really wants to hear is words of comfort and encouragement from her spouse. I think she wants her husband to make her feel loved, happy, safe. And I think that's what, Saif exactly made me feel. And he allowed me to do that. And I think most wives and mothers, expecting mothers, should make sure that their husbands give them ample love and comfort.
And that's most important and not to treat you like you're a patient. You're pregnant.
Exactly.
You're not a patient.
And allow you to do what you want to do.
Yes.
That's most important. And that's what I told everyone, that, I'm not ill, I'm not sick. Of course, we're living in COVID. When I was pregnant with Jay, it was COVID times. With all safety protocols, we kind of, managed to do a lot of shoots. And it was, it kept me alive. It kept me, happy in times that were so difficult. But of course, there was that constant fear that, what is going to happen? What if I get COVID? Will my child get COVID? So there was a lot of trauma in the last trimester, I would say, in my mind mentally, of like wanting to step out and do things, but still. So, but like you said, family support and you know me, I'm no guts, no glory. That's the kind of girl I am.
Yeah. Well, that you have shown in abundance as an actor. Now, there are so many of us, especially men, who are so ignorant about what a woman goes through during pregnancy. Someone like me, a little more aware, little more, I would say, tuned into a woman's emotional needs, requirements, insecurities, because I've had very open conversations with women and really regard their opinions on it. What you did in the film Good News, the scene that you actually spoke about, ironically, is very close to so many of the aspects that your book covers. When you tell the character in the film, Akshay's character in the film, about like, you don't know anything that a woman goes through. Exactly. You really go, there are mood swings, your body changes, you can't eat what you need to, like everything, there's swelling in your feet and your body just goes through a metamorphosis. When you talk about those things, and I don't address this to you as an artist, as an actor, Karena, I tell you this address this as a woman. When you stare at yourself and see your body change, when you are staring at yourself, in the mirror with the way the body evolves and changes during a pregnancy, what does that make you feel? And my second question to that is, what is your advice to women out there who go through those deep-rooted insecurities, staring at themselves in the mirror during their pregnancy moments?
I've had those moments, especially with my second pregnancy. I think when I came back from the hospital and I looked at myself in the mirror, I thought that, okay, this is, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to be okay. And being an actor, you do have a part of you, not that it's not vanity. It's about, wanting to just, feel like, okay, fine, I'm fit and I can be back again on my toes. I thought I'll never be able to. Like, I was like, there was obviously fear of breastfeeding that, because I wasn't getting enough when I delivered Jay. So there was a lot of mental distress that I was going through at that time. Right. Then I felt like my body had stretched. My feet were feeling like 100 kgs. Like I felt like, oh my God, because this pregnancy, Karan, was very difficult compared to Taimur's. Taimur's was a breeze. I loved it. I enjoyed it. And that actually gave me the courage to do it again. But this time was very, very different. And I had bouts of, where I would probably just like, sit down on the, on the pot and be like, I don't think that, I can do this. So I don't think, anything is going to be okay. And obviously it's also like, I feel expected mothers who deliver after, when you deliver, I think the first 15, 20 days, there's not enough sleep. You don't know. It's also like you're delirious. You don't really know exactly what's happening, because there's just so much pressure. And so when you get that moment alone in the bathroom and you look at yourself, I think you just think that, okay, I don't know what's going to happen. But, of course, as time goes on and, you have love and support and help, like, whether from mom, Lolo, Seth, everyone, I think, then it just gets better and better. And when you look at, your son or daughter and you have that moment of just, your child and you, I think it just changes everything.
There's, sorry to again stop you. Again, there's talk about an echo. Everyone is again commenting on an echo that is coming from your end.
Again, an echo?
I'm reading Bebo echo.
Oh, God. But now I can hear you and like very clearly.
You're very audible to me. Is the echo, Karina's voice is cracking. Can't hear Karina probably. At your end, is there anyone who can address this echo situation or should we just continue?
Why is there an echo coming in? Do you want to check?
Now somebody's telling me to wear the AirPods.
Somebody's saying no echo, Karan.
Echo. I'm only reading echo.
Somebody saying it's fine. No, it's not.
Okay. Should we just continue then and hope people can hear us? But there is echo.
Is it just, can you all check if you'll
It's fine from both ends now. Tanvi Parora has said it's
fine, no echo.
And someone has just abused me and said there's no echo. But okay. I'm used to that. All right. So, Karina, back to your feelings of insecurity and how you felt. So were there moments where there were lots of breakdowns, Len? There were like breakdowns. Did you feel like a little emotionally battered in moments as well? You found yourself weak and crying and like lost in this process?
Yeah, I think so, because this, like I said, the second time when I delivered Jay was in February. I was worried that I was going into a hospital. I was like, what's going to happen in, the OT? Is it going to be okay? Because you were hearing so many stories constantly, in COVID times, and it was the peak of COVID. Just that worry of even carrying him out for the first time out of the hospital, it was just overwhelming to know that, is it okay? We can be masked, he can't be masked. Is everything going to be fine? So I think it was all of that combination, and a lot of issues that we forget is that after delivery, everyone's focused on the child, everyone's focused on the baby. But I feel that the most important person is the mother. We need to she needs the most support. Which I think people, tend to forget, whether it's friends or family. They're just excited in looking at the baby and, wow, amazing. But no one's looking at us. So I think that is something that fathers and families shouldn't forget.
Now, you basically also, Karina, not just because, you're in the business of entertainment, but you also took the guidance of Rujuta, your dietitian, as well as Namrata Purohit, with the exercise routine. Would you advise women to actually go down the process of actually bringing on a dietitian, a nutritionist, as well as someone who can actually make you a pregnancy exercise regime? Like you, of course, had two very strong pillars by your side in Rujuta and Namrata Purohit.
Yeah.
You recommend this to all women to go down, like having a routine so that you can
think if you have access to it, I think it's amazing, because even if you don't have, for mothers who can't, working mothers, or you don't have time and, you're working and still pregnant, I think just even the idea of being active, an idea of taking a walk for 30 minutes a day, it can change your mood, it can change the way you feel.
Right.
It's not just about maintaining the weight. It's also about, just staying fit and healthy, and of course, Rujuta has always been somebody who has, always spoken about the fact of eating healthy, eating local, eating organic. She's always been like that.
Right.
So following her has always been it's a part of my life, It's just something that I enjoy doing. And I think mothers, should just continue enjoying their life. And, of course, cravings and all, that happens. But,
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you can be fit, try to be as much as you can, I think that it really, really helps.
What about pregnancy blues, Karena? How did you address those days where there were downer days? There were those what we call quintessentially as pregnancy blues. How did you address those days? Was it also family support, love and care, or just distance from everyone? How did you address it?
It's not like it's just pregnancy blues in the first. I think they're there. They last the entire year. It's not like now every day is like amazing. Even now, I mean, there are days of fear. So, that's just the way I feel, But I try to push myself. I'm the kind of person that, likes to get out of the situation and take that challenge. That's just the way, I am as a person, as everybody knows. So even if I'm down, or even if I'm feeling like, I'm tired or I can't do this anymore, I obviously think of, happier things. I think of happier times. I think of, Jay sleeping. I look at him and I'm like, okay, everything is worth it. Everything will be worth it.
Right.
And, I mean, I still do that. And I miss him, like, sometimes now when I go to work also. Even now, mothers have constant guilt. It's just a guilt syndrome that all mothers will, they just have it, They constantly feel that even if you're at work, oh my God, I'm missing out on that one moment. I want to be there for everything. I just want to say that, if you're not happy, your child can't be happy. So
yes,
that we
absolutely.
shouldn't, there should never be any guilt about that.
Well said about that. Well said. What was interesting for me that you used some homegrown remedies for like spotting. You used toothpaste. It was, of course, a homegrown remedy. Was that Babita auntie's little trick to you, or is it something that you learned on the way?
I think it was actually my grandmother's. In the book, like when you read the book, there are a lot of things that actually my Dadi ji used to keep saying.
Right.
Ki ye karna chahiye, wo karna chahiye. And that's what I think everyone has followed over the generations in the family also.
Right.
Like whether it was making the laddu so that, if you
as they call them the grandmother's tricks.
Yeah, grandmother's trick, the gond ke laddus that, aur khao. So, obviously breastfeeding becomes easier.
Right.
So a lot of modern mothers are like, no, don't. But, these old wives' tales, as they say, and the grandmother hacks, I think they completely work. And I followed it by the book as to what she said.
Breastfeeding. There's a constant conjecture that surrounds breastfeeding. How many months do you breastfeed? What if you can't breastfeed? What is the guilt attached to not breastfeeding? And I know that one of your final comments in the book is that it's okay for technical reasons, emotional reasons, medical reasons. If you can't breastfeed, you can't take that guilt on. What would you like to tell women about all these speculations and traumas that surround breastfeeding?
The idea is, of course, that because there is so much societal pressure that, this is the way it has to be done, or, this is what it is. I just feel that each mother, there's no crown for wearing the best mother in the world. Every mother is the best mother in the world. The fact that you've given birth to another human being and you've had the ability and the capability of doing that, then you're the best mother in the world. There's no formula that, okay, you have to breastfeed for a certain time. Of course, 6 months is what they say is ideal.
Right.
To go up to, almost a year and a half. I mean, if you get that kind of milk, it would be amazing.
Right.
But some mothers and some women, due to hormonal reasons, it could be anything, thyroid, it could be, mental state of mind, they don't get enough milk, Sometimes if you have to do an emergency cesarean and, a C-section, it takes time for the milk to come. Because when you're in a normal delivery, they say it comes faster. That's what they say. But when you operate, it takes time. So mothers have to have the patience to see that through. So I just feel that, just do the best you can. What works for each woman at that point in time.
Each mother has a separate circumstance. And I think whether it's professional, personal, medical, emotional, it has to be addressed accordingly. And what I love is that no one is giving you an award. There should not be guilt attached to it because it's your personal circumstance.
And
It,
it doesn't make you love your child less. But of course, I feel if you're getting milk and if you can and you have the time, you have the ability to do it, I think it's the best feeling in the world because it actually gives you that feeling of bonding with your
yes,
child and watching your child. It's a mother-child moment. But, there are millions around the world, like, who can't do it. And, like today, I mean, families opt for surrogacy, families, different kind of situations, circumstances, that you're in one. You have your two lovely children, but it doesn't make you love your child any less. You shouldn't
in
be
fact,
any less.
I just feel, I used to have this guilt as a parent that I hadn't done any of the emotional and physical heavy lifting. And does that make me a lesser of a parent? And eventually I
Absolutely.
realized that the love that you can surround your children by is really what parenting is all about. Love, understanding, and compassion is what you need to give your children. I kept thinking,
Absolutely.
I'm a single parent and I didn't go through those processes that all women have had to go through. And yet I had the two beautiful Bonnie babies by my side. So I do
Yeah.
get what you're saying, that it's so individual,
Yeah.
everyone's decision where it comes to pregnancy.
Absolutely.
Karena, mental health is such a discussion of relevance, importance, and sensitivity. And discussing it is really something that we have to do with utmost sensitivity and compassion. Um, Postpartum depression is something that many, many women have gone through and not been able to comprehend, understand. There are, of course, metabolical changes, there are hormonal changes,
Yeah.
and that results sometimes in postpartum depression. Did you individually go through that phase? And if yes, how did you deal with it? And if not, what would your advice be?
I think sometimes mothers, even while they're in their last trimester, experience a lot of anxiety and depression because, you're about to deliver the baby. You're getting prepared for a new arrival into your life. How are you going to react? So it starts, I think, in the last trimester. A lot of us go through that. And
Yeah,
post, like I said, it can last 6 months, it can last a year.
correct.
And like I said, sometimes even now I feel overwhelmed. I mean, like I think that okay, I've gone through 2 pregnancies, I have 2 children. Like, how is it going to be? Even though I know it's the most normal thing. My sister, I mean, I've seen my sister, I've seen it, but
Yeah.
I know, like, but still, it's just a thought sometimes that kind of scares you. That how is this journey going to be, and am I going to be good at it, or is everything going to be okay? But like I said, friends and my family, and I constantly keep surrounding myself with people, and I just being positive. You know me, I'm very, very positive
Yes.
and a very happy
Always
person.
optimistic, positive, and always looking at the bright side of things.
Exactly. So that's the only way to kind of be
Tackle
and
the
surround
situation.
yourself with people like that.
The other thing that there is always myths that surround, and women feel the guilt when they have to opt for a C-section, a cesarean,
Yeah.
as opposed to a normal delivery. There are always things told to you by old grandmother tales, like we are saying again, where you say that, going through the beats of actually having a normal delivery is what really satiates a mother. It's when you really feel attached to your child. But again, there are medical circumstances. Again, there are issues that crop up. And you've had 2 cesareans, 2 C-sections. And I know that the very first one you weren't happy with, but it was medically advised you to go down that path.